Lesson from How to Kill in Comedy. Find your comedic character. Use 20 great joke formulas. Slay the audience by Steve North. A stand-up comedian gives a group of strangers the experience of having an intimate and spontaneous conversation with a true lunatic. Intimate, spontaneous, conversation and lunatic. Leave out one of those words and the comedian falls short. Let's start with the most important word, lunatic. Picture a comedian that you really like. Someone you would be really excited to go see at a club or a theater or would go out of your way to see in a movie. Now take a moment and just picture this person in your mind for about 10 seconds. Now let me ask you something. Did you hear this comedian telling a joke or doing a piece of material in your mind, or did you just feel their personality? If you're like most people, you were more likely to just feel their personality than hear them telling you a joke. Well, that thing you felt, that sense of knowing them and maybe smiling when you thought of that person, is basically their comedic character, or persona. We all have a comedic character. It's different for everyone, just like we all have different faces and bodies. But the comedic character is what separates a comedian from a comic. A comedian and a comic are two completely different animals. A comic says funny things or makes funny observations. A comedian is a funny person who says funny things. In an interview for Hollywood Online, comedy giant Milton Berle said, "A comic is a guy who says funny things, and a comedian is a guy who says things funny, and he has a style and point of view that will last much longer." That's why you smiled when you pictured the comedian. If you look back over the years, in fact over the centuries, the comedy performers who have had long-lasting and versatile careers, movies, television, theater, everything, have all been comedians, not comics. So, whether you're an aspiring comedic performer, stand-up comedian, actor, speaker, writer, or just someone who wants to learn to be funny, the most important thing for you to understand first is how to tap into your own comedic character. Our biggest challenge is getting people into their own comedy house before they go out and shop for furniture, write material. Compare to put yourself out on the line. In fact, the whole process of growing up from child to adult teaches you to cover up those aspects of yourself that are unique. Funny, sort of crazy, sort of dysfunctional and wild. All the things that make a great comedian. To be a great comedian, you need to go from the protected state to the unprotected state. That's why doing comedy the right way and really going for it may feel strange to you. It requires showing a very intimate and bizarre side of your personality in front of an audience of strangers you don't trust because, well, they're strangers. To get your comedy swing grooved and put stand-up into proper perspective, you need to understand the physics of your own comedic character. The time-tested physics of stand-up comedy have proven reliable and repeatable. And one of the key elements in comedy is absurdity. Absurdity creates the involuntary reaction when you picture one of your favorite comedy performers, much in the same way, when a little child walks into the room, running around out of control. Comedy demands we expose the vulnerable, unprotected you. Let's face it, we laugh at drunks, children, and animals because they're unpredictable and wild, which makes them funnier. And we forgive their transgressions because they are innocent and don't know any better. That's exactly how you want the audience to feel about you. Think of your comedic character this way. When caricature artists draw someone's face, they choose a prominent feature, nose, eyes, mouth, ears, chin, or hair, and greatly exaggerate it. That's what you will do with yourself. You will pick true behaviors or attitudes unique to yourself, and then you will greatly exaggerate them until they are funny. Part 2. Develop surefire jokes using 20 of the greatest formulas used in Workshop, Steve North's Workshop. You can also go check his book Comedy Formulas and Stumbling Blocks.